How's it going, everybody? I am the Texas Man. I hope you guys are all having a great day. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you guys hit that bell notification button so you guys do not miss out on a single video coming out in the future here on the Texas Man channel. With that, I'm bringing you guys another album review. This is by Tauren, the lead vocalist that used to be a part of the band Royal Taylor. So this is his sophomore album. If you guys want, I am willing to do a review of his freshman album. So real quick backstory before we start talking about the album. I want to talk about Tauren himself. So he was the lead vocalist of the band Royal Taylor. Royal Taylor did 2 albums and then they broke up because some life things happened and the band just couldn't stick together. Tauren, however, wanted to continue his musical career, and so now he has 2 albums out that he's done all by himself, and he's done a fabulous job even without his friends and his band backing him anymore. He's still a great vocalist, he's still a great artist, and he has found a way to put a lot of passion and soul into his albums. So of course we're talking about his sophomore album called Citizen of Heaven. And so as always, we're going to talk about positives and negatives, and then I'll give you guys my final review score. So first off, this is a much better album from Tauren than his 2017 album Hills and Valleys. This album can seem a lot similar at times to his first album that he did by himself, but there's a lot of improvements. Like, I'll tell you right now, I give the 2017 album an 8, and this one is so much better. There are things, though, that are in it that I really didn't like personally, personal pet peeves of mine. It's just, there's some things in it that I didn't like, and I'm sure there are things in it that I didn't like that many people will enjoy. Another positive thing is that this album has 13 tracks. Technically it's 12 songs because there is a intro / prelude, but this album has 13 tracks. The first one only had 11. Now, not all artists having more songs in an album means it's better, but this definitely was. I enjoyed the fact that there was 13 tracks on this album, and it definitely made my money worthwhile. Also, I have the physical copy, and interestingly enough, one of the very great things I love about this, the fact that it's a physical copy, is it has the lyrics for all the songs. I can't tell you how many times I order a CD online to get the physical copy, and all this paper that's in this case, it's just that. It's just paper. It's just artwork. But it doesn't tell you what the lyrics are to the songs. I'm old-fashioned in the sense that I like to pull out this piece of paper and read the songs while I'm listening to the songs so I can understand and memorize the lyrics. A lot of times I will buy a physical copy disc of a song and it doesn't come with the lyrics. And at that point, it's just like, okay, you bought an album just for some background noise. Now, sometimes that's great, especially if it's an album where there's no actual singing. But when they're singing, I want to know what the lyrics are so I can understand and memorize it and have a good time singing to the music that I'm listening to. And I just really hate when albums don't have that, but this one does. Another great positive. This album is so uplifting. Whether you're down or whatnot, this album will get you pumped. Now, there are a couple songs that are kind of slow, but they eventually progress to a medium / high tone and a great and enjoyable soundtrack. So let's move on to some other positives. First of all, the album song, Citizen of Heaven, is the first song on this album. The album track, Citizen of Heaven, which is what the album's called, is the first track. I'm like, yay, thank you. Another thing, all the songs on this album are under 4 minutes. There's only one song, I believe, that's 4 minutes long. The other ones are about 3 to 3.5 minutes. Love it. It doesn't waste your time with needless nonsense and vocals and constant repetition of, the main chorus and whatnot. It just the dude sings what he wants to sing. He gives you some cool uplifting beats and whatnot and messages, and that's it. And then you move on to the next song. He doesn't waste your time. Um, I'm sorry, I just lost. Track 4 called Close. Amazing vocals, bass, and electro beats were just amazing, especially with a guest starring in the background. Was really cool. Track 5 called Perfect Peace had a great guitar and lyrics. Track 6 kind of had like a duet with Jen Johnson, and it was really cool to listen to. It's one of my favorite uh, 3 songs on this album, and I just love listening to it constantly. Track 8 called Done really hit home a lot of It Is Done. So if you know the song It Is Done or It Is Well, um, track 8 called Done um, was kind of like a updated version of it. And it was really cool to listen to that in a good way. Track 9 called Miracle is a really cool dance song. Track 10 called Unto Grace. I'm sorry, not Unto Grace. Until Grace was really cool to listen to because it was done with the band Rascal Flatts, one of my favorite country bands of all time. And having Tauren Wells and Rascal Flatts do a song together was just great. I really enjoyed it. And Rascal Flatts didn't like overtake the song. They were in the background noise, making all the drum sounds and whatnot. And then the lead vocalist of Rascal Flatts and Tauren Wells, they were just tearing it up. It's just amazing. Uh, what's Track 12 had an amazing drum sound and a fabulous message. Track 11 was also kind of soft and calm at the very beginning, and then as the song progressed, it slowly rose in beats and drums, and it was really cool. Track 13 was also really cool. It was cool, like piano background, and it reminded me a lot of the song called Unknown from Tauren Wells' um, freshman album. So that was really cool. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So I just, there's individual things I wanted to say about each track in a real fast way, and that's what I just did for you guys. Um, I really enjoyed this album. Unfortunately, it wasn't perfect. First of all, I'm kind of concerned that the artist name of Tauren Wells and the album name is not on the cover. Now, this is just chicken scratch, so ignore this. But the artist name and the name of the album isn't on here. You have to go to the back, and it just says Tauren Wells, but it doesn't tell you what the name of the album is. And I'm like, is this leading to the fact that the next album he does is going to be digital only? Because me, I like my discs. I'm old fashioned. I like that. Next, for some negatives, track 2 called Like You Love Me. The lyrics sometimes are overkilled by the background noise. Track 3 called Prelude. It's a prelude, and I really don't like preludes and intros. They're unnecessary. I hate them. And this one wouldn't have bothered me so much if it wasn't for the fact that not only is it a prelude and it's really boring and unneeded, and I don't understand why it's on this album, but if you're going to have a prelude or an intro, have it at the beginning of your album. It should have been track 1, and then Citizen of Heaven be track 2. But this prelude song is track 3, and it's just inserted in the weirdest place. Like, you're getting into the groove and whatnot with the first 2 songs, and then all of a sudden this prelude shows up and it just kills the beat. And it's going to force people to have to skip this thing constantly, and it's going to be irritating, especially for me. Track 7, called Millionaire, is way, way too slow. I almost fell asleep listening to this thing. And it also has like a really weird gangster type of vibe, which I just didn't like personally because it really didn't fit with the rest of the album. Another thing about this album is it's going to require you multiple times to listen and memorize the lyrics for some of the songs, even with the lyrics, because at times Tauren Wells just sings it too fast. Not like a rapping fast, but it's like he's singing it way too fast, and you're like, I can't understand what you're saying, dude. Like, slow down. Um, Another thing I didn't like is that many of the songs, and if you get the physical copy, I don't know if you'll find out about this digitally, with the physical copy, many of the songs are not actually even written by Tauren Welms himself. They're written by somebody else. But because they're sang by Tauren Welms gets the credit primarily. And I think that's just kind of weird. Now, he does write some of the songs on this album, but I'd say about only half of them he wrote. The other half, somebody else wrote, and he just sang them. So this is still a very uplifting type of album. I highly encourage you guys to check it out. It's real cool. Torn Realms is a religious man, so do keep that in mind. I think that even if you are not of the religious sort, I think you'll still find some value in this guy's music, and I think you guys will still enjoy this album. If you guys enjoyed Royal Taylor, if you guys enjoyed Torn Realms' first album back in 2017, I highly recommend this album. And with that, guys, I'm giving Torn Realms his sophomore album, Citizen of Heaven, a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys all have a fabulous day, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye, guys.